Hey guys, welcome back to another video by Fully Informed Trade, or Fitrade for short, knowledge for everyone. My name is Alex Cho, and today I'm just going to go ahead and review silver and gold, and talk about the silver and gold mining companies as well. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and review these key stocks and commodities. Like always, I want to start off the video by reviewing the dollar index. The dollar index does continue lower, and I do anticipate it to break this area of support, which will now continue this downwards trend. And also, if it does continue that downwards trend, which it will most likely do after 10 a.m. on Euro-US dollar manipulation, China diversification, Middle East diversification out of the US dollar, along with permanent open market operations. Plus, everybody wants markets to be a little more positive, at least throughout their earnings season. And yeah, basically, markets will most likely go higher, and since they are, I think the call I made the prior day before on silver and gold mining companies was very good, because again, that basically implied there was some great buying opportunity even after silver and gold gapped lower. Now, as far as stocks, I do like the XAG USDO, which is pretty much, well, not really a stock, but the silver commodity from Forex. It went all the way down to $39.70. It went up to around $40.50. Now, if you guys notice, between 9 to 10 a.m., you saw this huge decline in silver. Now, if you guys look, between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., you saw a huge incline in the price of the dollar. Remember, if the dollar rallies up, you'll see a huge drop in the silver market. It's as simple as that. Of course, when I saw the silver chart, I saw, right before my video ended, I saw this. I pretty much saw a quick price increase at around Tuesday, give or take Tuesday early morning session. I saw a breakup. It went all the way beyond. I'm going to go ahead and move over to a 10-minute chart. But it basically touched the 200-day moving average. That's basically a good area of resistance, and you do want to avoid going into it. And it touched it again, couldn't break it. On top of that, it was a double topping pattern, pretty negative. Plus, from around 8 a.m. to around 9 a.m., you saw a pretty decent uptrend in the dollar index, as you guys can go ahead and see right here. Therefore, you see some strength in the dollar, you see a resistance at 200-day moving average. That spells disaster for the silver trade. Silver traders pull out. It goes all the way down to the 39.80 area. Was able to trade right back up, right above $40 again, making it a very positive trade. And I do think, if you guys go ahead and look at the 3-month chart, pull back to March lows, 35, I find it unlikely. I find that we will be able to sustain this rally for a little longer, at least to the $50 area. Short-term pullback, I think this will be our short-term pullback, and I do anticipate markets to head a little higher into the $50 area eventually. Now, the main reason that I say this is because we're still in the middle of earnings season. Stocks are recovering globally. And remember, when you see a recovery in stocks, you generally see the dollar weaken, and you also tend to see commodities go up with stocks as well. Now, because we know those two facts, let's review the gold chart. Now, gold, pretty interesting. I'll go ahead and put up the 10-minute chart. It did pierce the 200-day moving average like I was anticipating, but it also pulled back from it, and that's a key area of resistance. I want you guys to pay attention to that. You never want to hold a trade if you're day trading past the 200-day moving average. That's resistance. Sometimes you can short it, depending. That's a big if you have the dollar strengthen, which in our case we had the dollar in our favor. We had the 200-day moving average acting as resistance, which made it a very easy shorting opportunity once you got a break right below this trend line. Alright, or you could have even shorted at the 200-day moving average, short right here if you're a scalper. 200-day moving average shorts generally work out quite often. Only the 200-day moving average, if you see stocks breaking above 20 and 50-day moving averages, I wouldn't pay attention to them. In fact, I wouldn't care. Alright? Now that we've reviewed the two commodities, let's talk about Pan American Silver. Pan American Silver has had a pretty sizable pullback, but I think there's going to be a pretty sizable rally tomorrow. Again, 9:30 a.m. it opens up pretty strong, but then it collapses. Could have been worse. Again, it fell by around a couple percentage points, and then you're seeing this market find somewhat of a support at around 39.80, and then it continues trading a little higher until the close at around $40.16. Able to hold on to $40, which is good. Again, I think this is a great buy-in opportunity, and tomorrow I anticipate the price to go much higher. That's mainly because silver has been able to gain back a lot of its momentum along with gold. Gold has regained a lot of its momentum, and right now it's using that 200-day moving average as support. You've seen it once, you've seen it twice, you even saw it just this right this moment. You saw it live. Now, if you guys notice, silver spot has had a hard time recovering, but again, I still think this could be considered a recovery. As long as this trend line doesn't break, I do believe my upside bias still holds on silver. Again, it's going to take some time. You're going to have to wait until 10 a.m. Watch what the Federal Reserve does very closely. Watch the open very closely. Look at what other traders are doing. Make sure that you're very vigilant, and make sure you pay attention to that trend line right here. This trend line is very important. You don't want it to break $40.21. That's the key areas of basic support. Now, the only way you could really determine whether or not it will be broken is whether or not the dollar index can continue going lower and break this trend line. If it does, anticipate silver to continue its uptrend, anticipate gold to recover its uptrend, and again, silver is bouncing back up a little bit. Just watch the dollar index very closely, guys. Make sure the dollar index falls. Anticipate silver to go up. Don't. And basically, if you see a 200-day moving average and you see it sustain itself for a while, might be a good opportunity. But again, I'm more bullish on the silver stocks than I am the silver commodity in the nightly early morning session. Now, if I saw a break above this pennant right here at around $40.40, that would be a go-ahead signal. Just buy into the silver commodity again. You see 440, that implies a great breakout opportunity and much more room to the upside if that actually happens. So again, 440 is your target area. That's your pennant. Broken implies more strength. Now again, now we've thoroughly reviewed the daily technicals, let's talk about the next stock. Now, Pan American Silver, we're going to go ahead and review New Gold. New Gold has hit some pretty awful levels. Did touch the 50-day moving average. It did bounce off it a little bit. Again, I'm not too bearish on it. I think we're going to have a pretty sizable bounce in New Gold, Pan American Silver, and also I'm also going to bring up another chart, which is going to be silver wheaten. Silver wheaten does break the 20-day moving average. We don't have immediate area of support except for this area right around here, right there, basically. So you got area support at around 42 bucks. It touched it, it bounced right off it a little bit, and again, you have to just watch this very closely. I think silver wheaten has a potential bounce in play, probably around 3 to maybe 2 to 3% tomorrow. As far as New Gold, 1 to 3%. Pan American Silver, 2 to 3% bounce. So again, I think these are the stocks that you want to play tomorrow. And of course, I do believe that there's going to be some strength coming out of them. Next, I want to go ahead and review Moly Corporation. Moly Corporation does have a lot of exposure to rare earth materials, particularly silver and gold. But just recently, it has had a pretty strong run-up and it hasn't pulled back. Now, one thing that makes me very, very nervous about rare earth materials is this. Japan is a big manufacturer. They are one of the biggest importers of rare earth. Now, after the tsunami and earthquake disaster, I noticed a lot of manufacturing plants are closed. these specialist manufacturers, these people who manufacture parts and specialize in certain areas and that require rare earth materials, aren't going to be around. A lot of factories are damaged, therefore there should be less demand for rare earth materials. If that happens, which I think it will, and I'm not too confident on RE. I'm not really that confident on Moly Corporation. I think Moly Corporation could get a pretty decent hit on rare earth materials just because of a lack in demand. Alright, so just be careful of Moly Corporation. It is making new highs, but I'm not going to participate. Next, rare earth materials. Again, same story here. It is very closely correlated to silver and gold, and I do think silver and gold will go higher, therefore rare earth materials might go higher. But again, if you saw my previous comments on rare earth materials, demand for it could drop because of what we see out of Japan. And you know, the products that we want are still going to be there, but nobody's manufacturing, so you know, who's going to buy the rare earth material? Nobody. If nobody's buying it, or a huge base of manufacturing isn't buying it, basically Japan, you could probably see a pretty decent pullback in market vectors for rare earth. So again, I think silver and gold still have more room to the upside, but I'm not that confident on other rare earth materials. Portfolio is diversified, but still has a lot of rare earth materials. Again, for the same reasons I mentioned in my previous on Moly Corporation, I don't want to participate in REMX. In fact, I would like you guys to avoid it. Alright, that is it for me for today. If you guys want to use the same charting software I use, check out the link right below this video. If you guys are interested in this stuff, be sure to subscribe, as I will have more for you guys in the coming weeks and months ahead. Take care.